welcome to a new episode on Decor Easy. Today, of course, we're going to craft with these jenga blocks or tumbling tower blocks, as you call them. For the ones new here to our channel, welcome. These are the blocks that Jenny and I always use for our crafts, and this package costs about €3.5 for 45 pieces. And we buy them online at a party supply web shop because this is a game which you can play at a party. They sell it over there. And these are the blocks. They're 5 centimeters long and I believe 2 centimeters wide and 1 centimeter thick. And they're perfect to build with. In the past, we had blocks were a little bit bigger, but they were, not so good for building organic shapes. And especially Janny is good at building organic shapes with these things. And yeah, I prefer straightforward. That's a little bit more of my cup of tea. And today I want to make a DIY which you can use all year long at your home. I'm going to make a key holder, and therefore we need these blocks. We have wood glue. I use this brand together with Jenny. I don't know if you know it, but we buy it at Action, a shop in the Netherlands similar to Dollar Tree. And this thing is about €1.5, maybe €2, something like that. It's a really big bottle. It lasts long. You don't need that much. I always apply too much, and the good thing is it has a nice cap holder here where you can put this cap upside down in there. The only disadvantage of that cap holder is that I sometimes forget to put the cap back on. And I also bought these cute tiny houses, wrong side, made out of wood. These are them, and they come from Action as well. And now the last one. They're all made out of wood and they're designed to craft with. They're super cute. And these are the sizes. You can build literally everything with this. They were cheap, they're thick, and they're perfect. So you can also use the tumbling tower blocks, by the way, to make houses such as this. But I found these so cute and I couldn't find a purpose for them until I got inspired by a Pinterest photo that I saw, and I thought, why not make a key holder which you can put in the hallway, the garage, wherever you want to have it. Okay, there's some glue here attached. Let me remove that first. This crafting mat, by the way, is also from Action. There we go. And this was hot glue gun. Okay, and what you also need is paint. Personally, I like to use for the houses beeswax or stain varnish, whatever you want to call it. This is beeswax here. This comes from the drugstore from the Netherlands, and they're really easy to apply. And I'm normally starting first with building with the blocks, but today I want to use this first because if you put this upon blank wood like this, it needs a lot of hours to dry. So that's why I start first, and then I will make some sort of back wall here around where you can put the houses in front of. And then the last thing, I'm going to use peg dolls, which also come from Action, as pins to hang your keys on in front of those houses. So that is basically what I want to do today. Now let me see. I thought, I need 2 blocks. Got to measure it first before I start applying. I need 2 blocks because I want to put them here upon. And if I use one, the houses are too thick, and then this is what you get. That's not looking nice. So I'm going to do a frame of 2 blocks wide, but I wanted to make sure that I measured it before starting waxing this stuff. Okay, first I'm going to apply the beeswax, and therefore I need just a simple brush. This is a watercoloring brush, by the way, also from Action. And let's just start right away. Normally I start talking, but let's just start right away right now. I'm starting with this one. It's the easiest to see for you how I apply the wax. I always personally use the lid. And then you're just going to dab your brush into the wax. Now, since this is a new brush, you can keep them, by the way, in a plastic bag, airtight and everything. But this one is a new one, so I'm going to dab the excess beeswax off, and it's really soaked up. Now, important, I start from the inside, just rubbing back and forth the beeswax. I'm not going to paint one side because if you beeswaxed it, the glue won't stick anymore. So this will be my front side, and the other side, the side which you can't see right now, will be my back side. I'm not going to paint it. So I start just rubbing back and forth, make sure that every piece of wood is covered in that beeswax. And then the last thing is start wiping it back and down, and you can see here on this side how it looks with the beeswax. You see, that makes a lot of difference. Yeah, I'm going to, the sun was shining, isn't shining, now it's shining again. So the light here is doing really weird things on camera. I'm going to fix that in the next shot. This is how it starts to look. If you put beeswax upon it, you can see the color difference really well, I suppose. And that's how I want everything to look. So I'm going to open up the curtains again so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. And I'm going to speed it up, this process. Then I'll be letting this dry for at least a couple of hours. You can test if it's dry by just running a paper tissue here on the beeswax part up and down. And if the beeswax comes off, it still needs a longer time to dry. And by the way, a fun fact, I don't know if you know that, this is being used by especially all the elderly people, older people here in the Netherlands, to stain their furniture. If you have really dark oak wooden furniture, this stuff is being used as a protector, a natural protector, by the way, to keep the furniture looking good. And personally, I never seen a furniture good of that quality as that dark wooden oak furniture. My grandparents have it at home, and they have it at home for as long as I can remember, and it still looks nice with this stuff on. Okay, enough talking. I'm going to fix the light for you, and then I will speed up the beeswax process. Welcome back. As you can see, the houses are dry. I also didn't do the bottom, by the way, as you can see, because I also need to glue them there. And I think they look superb. What I want to do next is measure. We don't want to have it this way. I think I want to have it this way. If we put those houses all together, how many bricks do we need to make a backplate or walls? Let's just measure it. If I lay them down in front, I think 4 is enough. Yeah, 4 is enough. Okay, and how high do they need to be? Let's take, is this the longest one? No, this is the longest one. Let's take this one. 4, I think 6 or 7. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, I'll do 7. Okay, then we know enough. Then we can make the back plate out of these bricks. 7 here. I'm going to put them all together with glue. 7 over here. Lay it flat you. And 3 extra. There we go. This will be your back plate. How I like to glue. You grab your wood glue. Let's open it up. I don't hope that the nozzle is stuck. No, it's still open. And then I rotate all the bricks or blocks until the last or the first one in the whole row. Why do I do this? So I can just tumble them over. Actually, I have to lay these down. That's easier for me to glue. Go like this. Then we grab our glue. There's a lot of dried up glue here. Let's just throw it away. And it's just like icing a cake now. Just a couple of dots will do the job. And important for me, or at least for this glue, is to let it dry for just a couple of minutes. Because I experienced that then the connection between the glued parts is stronger and better. So I'll do it that way. And sometimes you can't always see it. You got to deal with, as I call it, greasy wood. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but some bricks won't glue, or at least not enough. They really soak up the glue and then they don't stick anymore, somehow. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. And then you just have to apply a new layer of glue and glue everything together. I wait for a couple of minutes and then I'm going to flip them all over and make one big row out of it. So I get 4 rows. Personally, I like to work with these spare blocks so I can push everything together like this. And then I will also apply glue in between the whole lines and then push it together like this. So we get a really neat and tidy work. Okay, the glue is now dried enough. This is how I work. Just flip them over and gently, don't have to push that hard, push them against each other. The hard pushing will be done at the end, not now yet. There, and if you want to, you can always rub the glue parts against each other to divide the glue a little bit better, but today I leave it up to this. There we go. Another row. And it depends, of course, on the temperature in your room and the humidity, how long this stuff needs to dry. Today here it's 23 degrees yet. I have no idea how many degrees that is in Fahrenheit. It's just Celsius what we use here. It's just normal for the attic here because I have a lot of glass around. It really warms up easily here. Okay, now I just use my spare blocks, and sometimes you have to push them back because I saw it happening here. They come upwards and we don't want to have that. Let me just lay them against each other. No glue attached yet, but that will come next. First I want to push everything together really well. And since there is no glue here in between, not yet at least, here, this one comes popping up as well. That will be for a later job. Now, if you have headphones on, I suggest do turn your sound off because people might feel this is an irritating sound. I just take off this piece as a scraper actually from one of the flaps from the boxes where the blocks were in. I'm just going to scrape all the glue away. Because it pops up here and there. Let's check if there aren't any parts that pushed upwards somehow. I believe it's all okay this way. Yeah, and I'm just going to scrape it off. Easily like this. And like that. And there we go. Now I'll let it dry for about half an hour. I think that will be enough. And then I'll glue these parts and then I'll be back to you because I think then it's time to make the frame, or I'm going to make the frame right now and I will do the, how do you call that? No, I'll just wait until it's dry. Yeah. While we're waiting for this to dry, I decided that I wanted to start with the, how do you call that? The frame around. And therefore, I'm going to do exactly the same, just as I did with this ones. I need 4 in a row, here, here, and 3 up here. Let's just do it this way then. And I wanted to have the frame 2 bricks thick and not 1, because then you really have a frame where the houses can stand on. And yeah, we'll need another 4, but therefore we don't have enough space yet. So just start applying the glue again. And then attach them together. Just easy as that. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I measured. I laid the houses just upon here. And I need 1 extra block there, so I added that on the top. There we go. Well, let's glue them straight away. Or maybe just for the frame, I'm going to rub the blocks against each other to divide the glue a little bit better, because the frame has to carry a little bit more, so it needs a little bit more strength than just only the back plate. There we go. 3 over here. That's 1. Let's rub these 2. this one can go up here. And then we have another 3 in a row. You can just do it your way. I prefer to do this, but you can do so many different things with the gluing, with the frame, with the colors, with everything. We just like to give you some inspiration. Okay, I need to make one side part and another bottom part before I can glue everything together in large strings. Carefully going to place them against each other so we know that everything is straight. Yeah, so I need another 8 bricks. And some more here. No, 4, 3 extra there. Oops, I need to start here. Just small drops for this glue is enough, but it really depends on what type of glue you're using. Maybe you use hot glue, that works as well. Oh, I'm there again. Jenny and I just like to show you working with this because we experienced this glue as the strongest for our bricks, but as well it might depend on what type of wood you're using, of course. And it's cheaper and less smudgier than working with hot glue. And also the good thing about this is that you can still move around your project if necessary. With hot glue, you just pour it upon the wood and then you can't move it anymore. Yeah, maybe just for a few seconds, but that's enough. And this will last at least for a couple of minutes in my experience. Okay, well, there we go. You just need to wait a little bit longer then. Welcome back. It's an hour later and everything is dry because I also had to do the in-between glued parts. And I think it's time to first put the frame together. So the ugly inside part where you can still see some glue strings, I'm going to put them into the inner part. And just lay everything out on the table. And I measured, it should be fitting. If I do it like this. No, not this way. Almost glad that I'm double checked it, almost made it go wrong. Then it should be this way. Make sure everything is outlined in the corners. Here, this should be fitting. Just like so. And then if you turn it over, no big deal. Yeah, I'll first go flap these around and make sure that the corners are glued. And if it won't be fitting, then I can always fix it with another brick in a place where you can't see it to make some sort of stronger frame. And there we go, and the other one here. Okay, now let this dry for a couple of minutes to make sure that the glue is really tacky and that it also won't be sliding down. You know what I mean? That you get those drips of glue. Then I also let this dry for a long time because this is the most precious part that we got to secure. In the meantime, when this is drying, I think I'm going to... No, I'm not going to paint, otherwise I don't know if the... what do you call that? If the paint works well with this glue. So first I'll be using blank wood. Then I'm going to let this one hover over to get attached. If the whole frame is done, I will glue the edges and then this thing can be moved in there. That is the idea for now. So you won't be seeing me for a couple of next hours, I think. And then we can do the rest, the painting afterwards. Place the houses inside, and I also want to use pins to make the holders where you can hang your keys on. Okay, we're almost good to go. The glue here is dry, and the only thing that I forgot that I need a thicker frame for one side, because I need to make the pins where you can hang your keys or whatever you want to have on. And therefore I'm going to use 2, 4, 8 blocks. Are there 8? 2, 4, 6, yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. Just some, oops, that was already a lot of glue. Just going to use some dots of glue. I think with these, I can smudge it over to this one. Yeah, that's more than enough. And this one can go to this one as well. Ah, well, let's rub these two. That's just to avoid any drippers. And I'm glad that I do this because it really helps. At least that's my opinion. It helps me avoiding drippers. Okay. Look, there's an air bubble on the glue. Very funny. Okay. Let's place these carefully into the frame. Starting with the back. And they should fit in because it's the same size. There they go. Yes. And then move over to this one here. And now we need to let this dry. And you see this here is thicker so we can put pins upon it to hang things up. Now, this thing here is dry. And carefully, no, I'll let it be laid down. That works better. I want to show you the pins here. This is a bucket of these wooden pins that have various sizes and various shapes. And I thought that these here were perfect to use. Look how cute they are. And then you can place one in the center of each row of a block, just like this. And that's why we needed the double layer at the bottom. And then the idea is to put those houses in like this. But first, let's give it a paint job. And I personally like these peg dolls to be black. So for the whole frame here, I'm going to use just some normal white paint from the construction market. And for the black ones, I'll be using this blackboard paint from Action. This can is about €6 and it can last super long. You just need one layer of this stuff. That's all. It's the next morning and all the glue is dry. The paint is dry. I painted these 2 layers. This was enough for one. And I think now it is the time to start applying those pins upon the rack. So just going to apply some glue. Just some normal wood glue. Okay, I think that's more than enough. We'll just let it stand in the corner like that. So it can dry just a couple of minutes. Because I think that when you put your keychain or something upon this hook, that it will need some strength. And also we'll glue the houses. And I think then we're almost good to go. Just like this. Now let's move this carefully over to the side. And then we can glue the houses as well. Just some big dots here will do, I guess. Maybe here's some stripe at the bottom. Wonderful. I'll let this dry for a couple of minutes and then I'm going to assemble the whole thing and you'll see when it's dry. Here is the final reveal of the DIY. As you can see, I only add some green in the bottom after I glued everything together. Just some small parts of greenery. And on the hooks you can hang up your keys or whatever you want to hang. Small things. Maybe for the hallway, the garage, whatever you want. Thank you for watching.